Hey folks, check out this longsword. This is the Towton Longsword by Arms and Armor, USA made. A really beautiful sword. So I talked about it before. Here's the Towton Longsword by Arms and Armor. This is a really cool 18C. Oakeshot's Type 18 typology for European swords is a very broad variety of sword blades. Almost a little too broad for a single number in the typology, in my opinion. And as 18Cs go, I've got like an Albion Principe that is much wider at the base. So this is like relatively narrow for an 18C. And overall, I like the sword as an overall long sword. It's short and handy, so it's a little over 32 inches in blade length. And that's on the definitely on the short end for a long sword. But to me, it's more historical for the late Middle Ages and the late 1300s and early 1400s, when it was the real heyday of the longsword. You know, a lot of longer longswords that you see in the Renaissance time that have these 37, 38-inch blades is kind of almost, to me, moving into two-handed sword territory. And this size sword is much more practical to carry as a sidearm, either in civilian life for self-defense or as a backup weapon, because on the battlefield this is not usually your primary weapon. You're carrying a lance, you're carrying a poleaxe, you're carrying something else, okay? And this sword is very handy in a number of ways because it's light enough, it's got good enough movement that using this in an unarmored context, it works great because it handles quickly, but it's got enough, good enough kind of blade geometry that it still cuts really, really well. But even with that, it's still narrow enough that you can half sword with this sword, and the point is still acute enough, and it's still stiff enough for a strong thrust. So this sword is still something you could use in armor for half swording, because, you know, a standard sort of sword blow isn't going to be very effective against somebody in full plate armor. So it's just a great all-around sword. And Arms and Armor is a USA company. They make really great products. And they're not cheap, but you know, they're worth it. So let's see how it cuts. So when you're cutting plastic bottles, if you can get a cut and the base of the plastic bottle stays on the stand, to me that's kind of what I'm looking for in a cut. That's a really good cut. Still good enough, but not as good. Well, let's try ascending with the false edge. Let's try an ascending cut with the strong edge. Let's try a one-handed cut. Ooh, cool. Oh! Let's try another horizontal cut. Yay! Swords. Swords are cool. This is a cool sword. La la la! The Towton. La 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 la. Little baseball bat there. Let's get rid of this water bottle. It's leaking. Let's give it a stab. Ah! Support.